Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you. I trust that you are blessed today, that everything is well with you, and that all is just good. As the Bible tells us, that goodness and mercy is continually following you all the days of your life. And so tonight, I wanted to uh, give a couple of quotes and thoughts on the subject of imagination. Okay. The first statement comes from a book by the author David Icke. That's Icke, David Icke. And the name of the book is entitled Everything You Need to Know But Have Never Been Told. That makes it worth reading by itself. Okay. Everything you need to know but have never been told. First statement. We are the imagination of ourselves. Say that again. We are, you and I, we are the imagination of ourselves. The next statement comes from Neville Goddard's book, The Neville Reader, and this is the Kindle edition. And I believe the actual book within that book is called or is titled The Search. And here's the statement. To attempt to change the world before we change our concept of ourselves is to struggle against the nature of things. Read that again. To attempt to change the world before we change our concept of ourselves is to struggle against the nature of things. Another statement within that same book, he says, it is our conception of ourselves which frees or constrains us. It is the conception of ourselves that frees or constrains us. And last statement, the book is called The Arcanes by William, I believe his name is Atkinson, if I'm saying it correctly. He makes this statement: nothing happens without a precedent manifestation. Nothing happens without a precedent manifestation. Okay? In other words, everything proceeds from something. And we have only but to change ourselves before we try to change the world. The concept of ourselves, this self-concept, this imagination, this idea that we have of ourselves, we are that imagination. We are that self-concept. James Allen, in his book, again, wonderful book, entitled As a Man Thinketh, he makes this statement saying, quote, that we have only to right ourselves in order to find that the universe is right. So when we come into this concept of ourselves, where you are, where I am, where we are collectively, is but the outpicturing of our imagination. And as one of my teachers told me years ago, that the imagination is the picture-forming power of the mind. The Kabbalah talks about as within, so without. So it is our imaginal faculties, this inner ability to see, to create a blueprint for ourselves. Going back to the first statement, we are the imagination of ourselves. To attempt to change the world before we change the concept of ourselves is to struggle against the nature of things. In other words, again, we're trying to change, if we're trying to change the world before we change ourselves, we are struggling against the natural order of things. We're struggling against it. Why? Because the natural order again is as within, so without. So when we use our imagination, and we use it all the time, when we use our imagination, let us begin to see the person that we want to be. See that person. See yourself as that person. See yourself that way. And if your eye be single, then your body is going to be full of light. If your eye is single, if your vision is single, there's a scripture in the Bible that tells us that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. If we are single-minded about what we believe, about what we see for ourselves, and then learn to walk in that vision, learn to walk in the power of that imagination, learn to walk in congruence or in lockstep with the image that we see for ourselves, if we learn to walk in that, it is only a matter of time before the manifestation of what is on the inside of us inwardly manifests itself outwardly. Why? Because everything proceeds from something. As we talked about again in the arcane teachings, it talks about nothing happens without a precedent manifestation. Nothing happens without something preceding it. Your imagination is powerful. Your imagination is strong. Your imagination, or through it rather, we are either made free or we impose upon ourselves the constraints of limitation and lack and scarcity. But that's not for you. That's not for you. We are the imagination of ourselves. Now, how we use that and how we operate in it makes all the difference in the world. I trust that you're blessed tonight. My name is Stephen. Thank you for tuning in to my channel, Awakening Higher Consciousness. I trust that you can take this into your dream state. Take it into your dream state. Walk with it throughout the day. And realize that you are the imagination of yourself. You are, and you are living the content of your own consciousness. And that consciousness, that content of consciousness, belongs to you and you alone. So be blessed, stay safe, be empowered, and allow goodness and mercy to continually follow you all the days of your life. And as 3 John verse 2 says, beloved, I wish and I pray above all things that you prosper and be in health to the same degree that your soul prospers. Be blessed tonight. Namaste.